تلقى السعادة، قم للعبادة تلقى السعادة، تلقى السعادة تلقى النعيم. رمضان زمان البركات، رمضان زمان الحسنات، رمضان زمان البركات، رمضان زمان الحسنات، رمضان مجال الصلوات، طوبى للنفس بتقواها. رمضان كريم كريم كريم، شهر عظيم عظيم عظيم. رمضان كريم كريم كريم، شهر عظيم عظيم عظيم. قم للعبادة تلقى السعادة، قم للعبادة تلقى السعادة، تلقى السعادة تلقى النعيم.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. Our esteemed brothers and sisters, welcome once again to Islam the Natural Way, a special series of TV programs prepared and produced by the GIT. With us this morning is Dr. Abdullah Hakim Quick, who will enlighten us on raising the level of our fast. First, here's a recitation from Al-Quran by Hafiz Saleh Rahim.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والذين صبروا ابتغاء وجه ربهم وأقاموا الصلاة وأنفقوا مما رزقناهم سرا وعلانية ويدرؤون بالحسنة السيئة أولئك لهم عقبى الدار. جنات عدن يدخلونها ومن صلح من آبائهم وأزواجهم وذرياتهم، والملائكة يدخلون عليهم من كل باب. سلام عليكم بما صبرتم فنعم عقبى الدار. صدق الله العظيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأصلي وأسلم على سيد الأولين والآخرين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن دعا بدعوته واستنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد. All praise are due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, and peace and blessings be showered upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad, the master of the first and the last, and upon his family, his companions, and all those who call to his way and establish his sunnah to the day of judgment. As to what follows, my beloved brothers and sisters, to our friends, to our viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah bless you. May Allah accept all the good deeds that you are doing, especially in the blessed month of Ramadan. May Allah make this a time of transformation for the Muslim world, transformation for all of us, for our masajid, for our centers, and as individuals. May Allah help us to transform ourselves in the struggles that we are involved in this perilous world that we are living in today. But that transformation will need some effort. And the Prophet ﷺ used to address his companions in very intimate ways. And on one occasion, in a tradition which is authentic, The Prophet ﷺ said, رُبَّ صَائِمًا لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ صِيَامِهِ إِلَّا الْجُوعَ وَرُبَّ قَائِمًا لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ قِيَامِهِ إِلَّا السَّهَرَ. He said there are some who fast, but they will get nothing out of their fast but hunger. And there are some who will stand. They will stand in the night praying, but they will get nothing out of their qiyam, their standing, but sleeplessness. What did he mean by that? What he was saying is that there's something else. There's something else behind or beside hunger. There's something beside just standing in Taraweeh and going up and down like a bird. There's something deeper than this. And this year, as we are coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic, and the world is exploding, and rapid changes, apocalyptic changes are happening, we need to take advantage of this month. Take advantage of every moment that you have. Take advantage of the fact that you are in a special state given to you by the Creator of the heavens and the earth. This is an opportunity to be blessed and to make a change within yourself. But that requires deep thinking. And many of the great scholars, Imam al-Ghazali, rahimahullah, and many of the great scholars of the heart, Sheikh Uthman Danfodio, the great West African scholar, they looked into the heart, they looked into the individuals on the inside to try to understand what are the different levels of fasting. How can we raise our level? And the first level identified is Sawm al-Awam. And that is the Sawm or the fasting of the common people. And that fast is a struggle against food and drink. And no doubt, the first couple days, the most important thing on our mind is iftar. It is the breaking of the fast. But that's not the whole thing. I remember living in a place called Cape Town, South Africa, where there are hundreds of masjids and a thriving community. And one time I was buying some meat just before Ramadan, and the butcher said, Alhamdulillah, Ramadan has come, because we sell more meat in this month than we do in 6 months. And I said, wait a minute, is this the month of fasting? Is it Shahr al-Siyam, or is it Shahr al-Ta'am? Is it the month of food? So people have the wrong understanding of what this month actually is supposed to be. It is a month of self-control. But the masses of the people, may Allah bless them and raise them, their fast is a physical one. And they will put the time up and they will religiously look at the time. How close am I to iftar? The whole struggle is a physical one. But there's another level that the Prophet ﷺ was indicating. And that is Sawm al-Khawas. That is the specialized ones. And these people are not only fasting and struggling with food and drink, but they're fasting with their eyes, with their tongues, with their ears, with their hands, with their feet, with their private parts. How is that possible? How can you fast with your eyes? You fast with your eyes in that you don't just stay away from food and drink, but you don't look at things that are haram. And so you see something on your internet, it can be your watch, it can be your cell phone. You see something haram, stay away from it. Stay away from those websites and those YouTube things. And put that phone down in the month of Ramadan, except for communications and Islamic channels. Eyes need to be controlled. The movies, the series, our eyes need to be controlled. And for brothers especially in the warm climate, in the tropics, and it'll be warm even in the northern countries, women now, they take it off. So when they take it off, you have to control your eyes, lower the gaze. Lower the gaze and realize that the fasting eyes should not be looking at it. Yes, you have one halal glance, and that is the first time. So if you're walking down the street and a woman came by with a miniskirt on and you looked, that's okay. Then you turned away. But the second one, that's for the shaitan. Wal-iyadhu billah. So don't be like this. Don't come back to it. Control your gaze. The next point is fasting with your tongue. And this is a big one. Because fasting with the tongue has many dimensions. Well, somebody said, well, I'm not eating and I'm not drinking. But if you are backbiting and you are lying, if you are saying, cursing bad word, then this is not a fasting tongue. And the Prophet ﷺ said, he talked about lying. And he said, "Man kadhiba alayya muta'ammidan falyatabawwa'u maq'adahu minan nar." Whoever lies on me purposely, he can expect a waiting place in the fire. So the tongue, control the tongue. Do not lie about Islam. Do not lie about Allah and His Messenger. Do not backbite with your mouth. If somebody calls up and you go on the phone, don't start talking about people. It's Ramadan. Stop talking about the negative qualities of other individuals. That's the fasting tongue. We have to fast also with our ears. And that is that we're not listening to haram things with our ears. And so it means these negative music things, hip hop, whatever you listen to, they're swearing, they're cursing, turn it off. I'm not talking about spoken word. There are Muslims who do spoken word. Something positive like that is positive. But things which are not permissible, the ears need to stay away from it. And that is a form of the fast. The hands need to fast. How can your hands fast? Your hands is like your power. You do things with your hands. And so if you're a shopkeeper, then don't raise the prices in Ramadan. You know, it's strange to me that dates become so expensive in Ramadan. Dates, triple the price of dates. Why? Because the shopkeeper knows that you want your date to break your fast. So suddenly that date rises 3 times. No, lower the price of dates in the month of Ramadan if you fear Allah. The hand can also hurt other people. The hand can be involved in negative acts. Stay away from it. And if a person is even arguing, trying to fight you in a negative situation, the Prophet ﷺ said you should say, "Inni sa'im." I'm fasting. Just say salams. Don't get involved. Control yourself. Control your actions. And your feet should not take you into any negative places. So your feet should actually be fasting as well. And that is Sawm al-Khawas or Sawm al-Khusus. It is the specialized fasting. That's another stage. But there's a third stage. And that is Sawm Khawas al-Khawas or al-Khusus al-Khusus. It is the special of the special. And that is the fast of the heart. How can your heart fast? Yes, the heart is a lump of flesh pumping blood, but there's also a deeper thing. That lump is connected to your conscience. Your heart is deeper than this. We used to say in America, always let your conscience be your guide. What is your conscience? Why did the Prophet ﷺ said, stand shoulder to shoulder, so your hearts will not be divided? What was he talking about? When a person came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, teach me something, give me something about bir, he said, istafti qalbak, ask your heart. So the heart needs to fast. But our heart, our conscience, that door to the soul is under attack. And so we need to fast from certain diseases of the heart. Amrad al-Qulub. And the great scholars of the Muslim Ummah have studied this. One of the big issues, and today it is raging, is pride, al-Kibr. Proud of my color. I'm proud of my nationality. I'm proud of my passport. I'm proud because I have a little money. But why are you really proud? Because we all came from a humble place, and we will return to a humble place. And if a person dies, he can be the richest person in the world. When that person dies, nobody's going down in that grave with you. I don't care how much money you have. You can be the beauty queen, but when you die, they forget about you. So pride is really important. And pride is what dropped the shaitan, who thought he was better than Adam. He was a racist because he's created from clay and Adam, he's created from fire and Adam from clay. That's the first racist. And so we shouldn't be proud of ourselves because human beings, we're all the same species. We're actually cousins. And so break down your pride. And that means not only mentally, but physically. And if you and to break it down physically, humble yourself. Do actions that you may not do. Sweep the floor. Do khidmah. Do service to other people. That is an amazing thing. I can remember I was traveling. Some brothers came to me and they said they were traveling in India and they were looking for a hadith scholar. And so they went to a house and they said, the sheikh lives here. And they came in to the majlis and the people said, sit down. And an elderly man came and he gave them water and towels and they washed their hands and he prepared them and then he served them food. And then they said, okay, where's the sheikh? 5 minutes later, that same elderly man came in with a turban. He was the sheikh. You see what he did? He broke his pride. He was their slave. And so he served them. And then when it came time for hadith, he put on his turban and he was the scholar of hadith. But that pride as a human being, thinking that you're better than people, he struggled against that in the beginning. We also are in a big scourge of al-hasad. And al-hasad is envy and jealousy. This is a big thing in our communities today. The sister Zainab has got a new baby. And so the other women are jealous of the baby. They're jealous and they have evil eye. But the Prophet ﷺ said, إِيَّاكُمْ وَالْحَسَدْ فَإِنَّ الْحَسَدَ يَأْكُلْ حَسَنَاتِ كَمَا تَأْكُلُ نَارُ الْحَطَبِ. He said, beware of jealousy. It will eat up your good deeds like a fire eats up firewood. It'll burn away your Ramadan. You're jealous of another person, it'll burn away your Hajj, your Umrah, your Sadaqah, everything. How do you deal with this hasad? Number one, realize that if a person has something physically, if they have money, that's from Allah. And having money is not necessarily a blessing. And I say this to the people of Guyana and other people who oil and gas is coming to. I lived with the Arabs. I lived in Arabia when people were poor back in the 70s. There was no tar roads. We were living with Bedouins getting our water pumped in from across the street. But there was a beauty in the people of Medina. But when this wealth started coming in, people got proud. Something was gone inside of them. So wealth is not necessarily a blessing. So remember that if you have enough to survive and you can give sadaqah, that's a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So why should we be jealous of other individuals? Realize that we all have a test. There is also ghadab, kathratul ghadab, that is anger, uncontrolled anger. And this is a big thing, especially for the males. The brothers, especially after Salat al-Asr, in the afternoon, he's fasting in Ramadan, he's an angry man. Because they say, a hungry man is an angry man. And so ghadab, you got to control yourself. We can't have too much anger, but at the same time, you can't have too little. If you see Muslims being disgraced, if you see Islam under attack, then we need to have the strength to control ourselves. And so Ramadan can help us in this, because fasting calms you down. And some people eat too much pepper, and the pepper makes them angry. Or they eat too much sugar. So fasting now cuts it down. So after the fast is broken, don't pour in the pepper and the sugar in the food and eat hatta matla al-fajr until the morning. No. Control yourself after the breaking of the fast. We also need to fast from all of the bad qualities, riyah, and that is doing things to be seen by people. This fast, one thing good about it is it's for Allah. And it is the only action which is like this, because a person can say that they're fasting and not actually be fasting. So if you can do it properly, this is something for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it should teach us that all of our actions during the year should be for the creator of the heavens and the earth, and it should not be to show off, to show people I am fasting, I make taraweeh in the masjid. No, we should do what we're doing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are some of the diseases of the heart. And the Som Khawas al-Khawas, the third stage, is the special of the special. And those are the people, inshallah, who will gain the ultimate blessing. And we need it this year. We're coming out of lockdown. We're coming now, opening up. And we ask Allah to open up upon us. May Allah open up on our children, on our families, on our communities. May Allah open up and give to the Muslim world and help all those Muslims who are in crisis, who are suffering. There's a terrible drought in Somalia and East Africa. The Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar, Burma, they're suffering. Kashmiris are suffering. Syrians are suffering. Surprisingly, you may not be aware of it, but even in Ukraine, there are Crimean Muslims who are suffering. Palestine, suffering all throughout the world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ease the suffering of the poor and the oppressed in this planet. And may Allah have mercy on the children of the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah protect the dignity of the women of the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah protect and guide the men of the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah raise up leadership in the Muslim world, balanced leadership to take us from darkness into light. And may Allah give us that our last words would be our best word, to be kalima la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah bless you and your families in this month of Ramadan. May Allah accept our prayers and our fasting. May Allah accept all of our good deeds and have mercy upon us and mercy on our children. I leave you with these thoughts. I leave you in peace. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you bountifully for striving in His cause, and may He accept your fasting, prayers, spending, and good deeds in and out of Ramadan al-Mubarak. May the peace and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be with you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
رمضان صيام ودعاء، رمضان أمان وصفاء، رمضان صيام ودعاء، رمضان أمان وصفاء، رمضان سلوك وعطاء، أهلا بقدومك يا رمضان. رمضان كريم كريم كريم، شهر عظيم عظيم عظيم، رمضان كريم كريم كريم، شهر عظيم عظيم عظيم. قم للعبادة تلقى السعادة، قم للعبادة تلقى السعادة، تلقى السعادة.